When the guns fell silent in 1918, Germany was not just defeated, it was shattered. The mighty German Empire lay in ruins. Millions were dead, cities were starving, and the Treaty of Versailles hammered the final nail in the coffin, crippling Germany with brutal reparations, military restrictions, and national humiliation. The once proud nation had become a shadow of itself. Poverty spread like wildfire. Inflation skyrocketed until a loaf of bread cost billions of marks. People carried money in wheelbarrows and burned cash because it was cheaper than coal. And in this chaos emerged a man who promised to restore Germany's greatness. His name was Adolf Hitler. The Weimar Republic, Germany's fragile democratic government, was born out of defeat. It faced constant instability, political assassinations, economic collapses, and street battles between rival factions. Left-wing communists and right-wing nationalists both tried to overthrow it. Ordinary Germans were disillusioned. They didn't trust their politicians. They felt betrayed by the November criminals who had signed the Treaty of Versailles. The idea that Germany had been stabbed in the back during the war became a powerful myth, and Hitler would use it like a weapon. After World War I, Hitler, a failed artist and former soldier, found his voice in politics. He joined a small nationalist group, the German Workers' Party. With his fiery speeches, charisma, and obsession with nationalism, he quickly rose through its ranks. He renamed it the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party. And he gave the broken people of Germany something they desperately craved: a scapegoat and a dream. He blamed Jews, communists, and the Weimar politicians for Germany's misery. And he promised to tear up the Treaty of Versailles, rebuild the military, and restore national pride. In 1923, Hitler tried to seize power through a coup in Munich. It failed miserably. He was arrested and sentenced to prison. But this defeat turned into his opportunity. Behind bars, he dictated Mein Kampf, a manifesto outlining his vision for Germany: racial purity, territorial expansion, and absolute power. The world ignored him, but he had planted the seeds. Then came 1929. The global economy crashed. Germany, already fragile, collapsed again. Banks failed. Unemployment soared to over 6 million. Hunger and despair filled the streets. While democratic leaders appeared weak and divided, Hitler offered simple answers: blame the outsiders, restore order, bring back pride. His rallies drew thousands. Nazi propaganda flooded the streets, posters, radio, speeches, all promising a better tomorrow. Desperation turned the people toward extremism. By 1932, the Nazi Party became the largest in the Reichstag. But Hitler still didn't have absolute power. Conservative politicians believed they could control him by making him chancellor. On January 30th, 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. What they didn't realize was that they had opened the gates to dictatorship. Just weeks later, the Reichstag, the German parliament, was set on fire. Hitler blamed the communists and declared a national emergency. Civil liberties were suspended. Political opponents were arrested. Through the Enabling Act, Hitler gained the power to rule by decree. Democracy was dead. The Nazi regime began its brutal transformation of society, crushing dissent, censoring media, and indoctrinating the youth. Hitler wasn't just a politician anymore. He became a messianic figure to millions of Germans. His image was everywhere. His words were law. And under the banner of the swastika, he rebuilt the military, defied Versailles, and prepared for conquest. The world had watched a failed artist rise from the ashes of defeat to become one of the most dangerous dictators in history. Hitler's rise was not sudden. It was a slow, calculated march through a broken system, fueled by economic despair, national humiliation, and political miscalculation. And by the time the world realized the danger, it was already too late.